Both junior highs and the high school, we will begin meeting in October to get feedback from parents and students. What do they want? And then we can run it through the steering committee, and as decisions are made, we can run it through the parent and student committees to see how it flies. And then other committees. There's at least one assistant principal and myself on each of these committees at the high school, but a lot of these are the logistics of the move. What bell schedule? What lunch schedule? I mean, one of the problems we have, if you've been to the high school, we have a cafeteria that seats 802 if you put a butt in every seat. Well, high schoolers are never going to go for maximum capacity in the cafeteria. So anyway, 0 hour facility use, traffic flow. If you've been to the high school when we start school or end school, it is a nightmare to add 350 more cars to that mix. Makes me lose sleep. And I'm sure I'll get lots of phone calls. Parking, athletics, and coaching assignments, orientation for parents and students, online classes, communications, electives, final exams, event coverage, and staffing. Thank you. So, our timeline. Here's what we got. By October the 31st, the department heads will give me the courses that they want open to the 9th grade as far as electives go, and whether or not they prefer to have those classes pure or not. Foreign language would like them next to me for Spanish 1, French 1, those things. But we need parent feedback on that. November 18th, we'll have a bell schedule in place to present to the board for the November board meeting. And that includes the lunch schedule as well. That then gives us enough time to plan facilities usage by December the 15th. And by facility, I mean band currently practices on the football field before school. Always has. With 9th grade athletics saying, hey, I want both football facilities, we've got to come up with a plan. By February the 1st, an orientation plan for 9th and 10th grade students. Again, everybody in junior high is coming, everybody in Woodland and everybody in Rankin is coming next year. That's all. No worries. March 1st, we'll have a transportation plan. We met with Tommy Davenport the other day just to say, dream big. What can we do? I mean, it is difficult now. It will be worse unless we come up with a much better plan. April 24th, all staffing will be notified of placement. Now, last year, if you recall, everybody did a preference sheet as to what school they wanted to be in 15-16. Mr. Jacoby should have sent an email out to everyone again yesterday just saying, hey, welcome, you're coming to us next year. But we've had people leave the district. There will be openings. We will have secretaries, registrars, some of those pieces that need to be hired. Our plan is by April 24th for everybody to know where they are. I don't know about you all, but it was extremely frustrating last year that we went into June still not knowing who was moving where. And May 1st, we'll have a plan for parking, and I say a plan. Parking is always subject to change. But we also have a transitional and staff development day plan for May 1st. Okay, district parameters. And by these, John Dean and the transition committee does not take blame or credit for any of these. These were handed down from Dr. Hewitt. There's no 9th grade athletics at this time. 7th grade. Please forgive me, I'm a father of 3 and sleep deprived. Anyways, no 7th grade athletics at this time. There will be 2 9th grade SLCs and 2 athletic teams determined by lottery. Now, some of the problems that come with that we still need to figure out is, what do I do with siblings? I mean, if I have a pair of brothers that both play football, are they going to end up on 2 different teams, right?
How'd they end up with a lottery on that? Why didn't they divide it between Rainey and Woodland like it is now?
I think the idea was to make it right now, to integrate. Yes, thank you. Man, I can't talk this morning. And There'll be a closed campus for lunch, not the closed campus like now where it's closed, but seniors in good standing can leave totally closed. The superintendent and whatever believes that when the village passed that there was a commitment to close campus, so seniors will no longer enjoy open campus lunch. Okay, frequently asked questions, and I'll get to the website later. You all kind of get an early view on this. We're going to present to the board tomorrow night, so even the board has not seen some of this stuff. But Friday, the website is supposed to be up with frequently asked questions where people can go in and ask questions, and we set it up for both parents and staff, because there are staff questions that the parents don't necessarily, I mean, what materials do I get to bring moving from Woodland Junior High? I don't know that every parent wants to look through all of that. Now, you can look at either one if you're so interested. But some of the questions we've gotten already, how will the 9th grade sports teams be created by lottery? How will athletics and extracurricular groups share facilities and gym spaces? Again, we'll have a plan by December the 15th. Will 9th graders be allowed to park at FHS? No, they will not. I don't know how many 9th graders drive, but those that do drive will not have parking on campus. It's currently restricted to juniors and seniors, and that will stay the same. Will there be gates to secure campus on the east and west sides? Yes, there will be. We were very worried that that would get cut in construction and then people could just walk right into the middle of our campus. But will FHS have an open campus? No, they will not. Where will drop-off and pickup lines be? We have no idea. I would love to tell you. We do know that the system now does not work. And when we add more cars to it, we're exploring with Tommy the ability to either move the buses back up to, it's not Stone Street anymore, Bulldog Boulevard, thank you. I still call it OPO, I mean, Kinko's is still Kinko. Anyways, okay. We're exploring options, including what's the possibility of this. If you've been to the high school, there's kind of two look right in. What's the possibility of cutting right through the middle section there? We don't know. Can we add more parking? No. Unless we're going to buy some property, across the street, we're maxed out. We've known from before we broke ground that parking was going to be a challenge, and it still is. We do get more parking spaces to take care of faculty and staff once construction is complete, but it still creates problems when we have volleyball that starts at the end of the day or something. There's no place for people to park. Will FHS keep the same bell schedule? Doubtful, but we don't know. We're exploring that. First meeting is next Monday. Will 9th grade have a separate lunch? Again, I don't know. It depends on how many lunches I need to in the logistics of trying to get them in the lunchroom. As it is now, if you've been to the high school during lunch, kids eat in several areas throughout the building, which, if you were trying to run classes, would be amazingly disruptive. Will 9th grade teachers move to Fayetteville High School? Yes, those that said that they wanted to move will be moving to the high school. What orientation will take place for 9th graders? Michelle Fife, who runs the Bulldog Dog Cruise. Sorry, she runs the Dog Cruise. She's planned the orientation for the 10th grade the last several years. She will be vital in planning it for both 9th and 10th graders. But with park testing and what have you this spring, trying to get twice as many kids over to the high school like we did last year, it is logistically difficult, but we'll have a plan for it. Will 9th graders take classes with 10th and 12th graders? I will tell you, in some cases, yes. I mean, now, how much? 9th graders will certainly, in their cores, be 9th grade English is going to be 9th grade English. But especially in some of your higher level classes, I can't run, a class of 3 students. Will 9th graders have equal opportunity to attend FHS events? The only commitment made by the first committee on this is that 9th graders would have representation on the student council. They will not be allowed to go to prom. Sophomores aren't allowed to go to prom without admitting. That is still to be decided. What events and to what degree are the ninth graders going to take part? And talking to other districts that sequestered the ninth graders quite a bit, they found it not to be successful. The ninth graders did not like being totally separated from everyone else. Again, it's their parents that I worry about more than, well, I'm sorry, you hate to say that, but the parents are the ones that eat me up. Not the ninth graders not being happy I can live with. It's their parents being happy that I can. Okay. What resources will 5th, 7th, and 9th grade teachers who move to the next level take with them? We brought that up in our last transitional meeting. Ms. Garrett's trying to get an answer for us on that, but that's one that we've heard from the teachers quite a bit. Okay, communicate. How in the world are we going to communicate all this stuff as decisions are made? Again, the website is supposed to go live Friday. There's supposed to be a tab right there that says transition. You'll have 5th, 7th, and 9th grade that you can go in and look and see what's going on. The newspaper, I'll give Roseanne Pierce a copy of what we're telling the board tomorrow night, and then from that time we will continue to tell her what decisions have been made, what had. Also school newspapers. Shay brought this up, and I thought it was a good idea to run stories in the junior high papers and the high school papers, communicating what our decisions are. Who can I contact? Okay, and I did call Jackie before throwing her name up here. Feel free to email me. I will say this. I am Kenneth.Dean, not John. It was awesome when I was teaching. No one could ever find me. But, and I've never changed it. So, anyways, feel free to contact me. Any questions, comments, what have you, you're not going to offend me. But you can also contact any of the people that are on the committee. But if you feel more comfortable with Shay, Kurt, or I ask Jackie, and if you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable telling John whatever, Jackie will. Jackie's my sister-in-law, for those of you who don't know. She doesn't claim me in public, but did you all have anything to?
Can I add something?
You very much, yes.
I just want to say, I know I've had a lot of people ask questions, which is great. I'm happy. That's, I'm kind of the trial by fire person. I want to assure you, because I know that if I was sitting here, I'd be like, oh, they're not, are they really working on this? Do they really care about us? And I'm real thankful that the 9th grade transition committee allowed me and Erica from Ramey. Erica's in the same position I am, moving up from Ramey a year early, to be on the committee, and I ask 1,000 questions every meeting. I mean, that's kind of all I do is ask 1,000 questions, but to advocate for all of us as 9th grade teachers, because it's really important that we feel informed and we feel comfortable and we're ready to do this to support our kids and their families. So don't hesitate to ask me anything. I got several questions this week, and if I don't know, I'll certainly, go ask and find out. It's been an awesome learning experience for me. And the thing that I think that we think when we're here at Woodland is we have this perception that everything's so crazy and horrible at the high school, and that's not the case. It's different. Yes, it's different, and it's a culture shift, and it's a shift of your mindset and your habits and your routines. But it's very manageable and very doable, and it's just that we all need to be committed to that process and be ready to ask questions and kind of figure things out. So I hope that me being there and going through this a little bit early and figuring things out will be a help to y'all, and I want you to ask us, and Kurt too. I mean, Kurt's kind of learning it from the admin side, so together I think we have a lot of information to offer, and we're figuring things out. But it's not, yes, parking is different. It's been shockingly different for me. You can't drive up to your back door of your hallway and walk in, but it's very manageable. You figure it out, you do it, you build a new routine. So yes, it's a change, but it's not scary, and it's not as disorganized and messy as I think everyone wants to believe. It's just you have to shift your mindset, and I think we all know that. We're all going to be fine. We need to support our kids and support their families. It's a school, and we all know what to do in a school, and we all know how to function and serve our kids and serve their families. So please don't hesitate at any time. I know Kurt isn't here this morning, but I know he would say the same. Just email us anytime. You know that I'll answer you and be honest with you. But the right steps are being taken. I know maybe a little bit more slowly, timeline-wise, than some of us would like. But we've met with band directors, we've met with the choir director, we've met with all the coaches and the athletic directors, we've met with all the assistant principals who are in charge of Bell's schedule, of lunches. We had a whole full-day workshop the other day where our whole team sat together and asked these people, and they asked us 1,000 questions, and we asked them 1,000 questions, and we really hashed through all of it. So please rest assured and know that we are working on this. We meet every week after school on Wednesday, sometimes till 6 o'clock, really working on all of these issues. And we've talked about outreach to the families. Miss Garrett, our new assistant superintendent for secondary, I've been super impressed with her. She has a lot of experience in this area from Bentonville. She brings a lot to the table. She's been very supportive of the questions we've had and the ideas we've had. We are going to do outreach to our families directly to the parents and the students who are moving up and try to make them feel a little bit more comfortable as we begin this process. So I promise you that the right things are happening, and it is a little bit slower process than I think we would like, but there's just a lot to cover. But the work is being done and the questions are being asked and the advocacy is there. So if anything this morning, I just want to reassure you that I feel good about the things that I see happening, preparing for us, and yes, I'm still part of us, for us to move up and be ready for our kids and be ready to support them as they transition. So I tell you, in the honesty of my heart, I feel good about what's happening, and it's going to be a little bit slower, and so everybody's patience is appreciated, but don't ever hesitate to ask a question. Please email Kurt or me, and we'll help you figure it out and help get an answer. So.
And I want to add one thing. There's still a few uncertainties with where teachers are going. And on Friday, myself and Lori Lynham, the principal at Ramey, and David Young, who's the assistant principal at the high school, we're going to meet just to try to clarify those uncertainties. So hopefully those that there are some uncertainties, we can have those cleared up later this week.
Michelle, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Anything you need us to?
I have a slightly devil's advocate question. Having grown up in the construction industry, do we have a plan if it doesn't get finished in time to open school? Just saying.
Football.
The short answer, no. And I'll say what is this, the fourth?
This is the fourth move into phase that we've gone through, and this year it was Tuesday before school started. The previous year was Wednesday before school started, and they're still in there doing things. So we kind of move in even when they're not quite finished with all of this stuff. So we're at that point.
I guess the positive thing is the first day the cafeteria was opened was the first day of school. There was no trial run. There was so at least the cafeteria, the gyms, those places are.
Well, and theoretically, we're supposed to start a week early this coming year. Someone needs to just renege on that one. That's all I can say. How can you start a week early when you're at the tail end of the construction?
If you can believe what they said, I just remodeled my house, so I realized that we were always on time and always under budget until we got right to the end of that. But we're ahead of schedule currently. But to answer your question, we're going to have to monitor and adjust. We do at least have the major pieces. The first year without the cafeteria was a challenge.
Can I give one little word of advice since those of you that are moving, because boxes tend to go wherever. One of the things that we have found, if you would number your boxes as well as put your name and where they're going, and then I did it in my phone. I just put it in my little notes category that I had 16 boxes. Because I found boxes, I was moving to the 3rd floor of phase 2, and I found boxes on all 3 floors. And if I had not figured out how many boxes I had, I would not have known where to go look. So I would strongly suggest numbering your boxes and then just put a little note to yourself so that you don't realize it's missing until you've unpacked everything. So
Is the plan to take ninth grade teachers that are here in Ramey and make them ninth grade teachers there?
If that's what they desire.
And are we gonna be treated like a first-year teacher or 11 and 15-year teacher or something like that? That's what concerns me.
And I don't know as far as the evaluation process goes. That's an HR question that we put to them. I mean, to me, I would certainly say
Can I-
treat 15.
I mean, I'm talking about, what we're gonna be teaching and that kind of thing.
I moved in my same evaluation cycle, that didn't change.
That's not my concern.
Okay, well, I understand, but I was gonna answer all parts of that.
Okay.
Moved in my same evaluation cycle. I think some of it has to do with the department as well, and you and I being in the same department, and department head. There have been emails that have gone out to FHS asking if there are teachers who are interested in possibly being considered to move to ninth grade, and I don't know what the response has been to that. But the conversations that we've had, are that you're gonna move with your kids. I mean, within social studies, and I can't answer that, but it's kind of been a department conversation about what's happening. As far as being like a new teacher, I have had the option and the invitation. There is a new teacher induction program at FHS. There's meetings once a month about just how FHS as a building operates. And I'm not required to go to those. As if I were a first-year teacher, I have the option to go to those if I want to learn about the building and the processes and who's who and who handles what different tasks and what your needs are. So I think there's a lot to learn in the building. I have gone to a couple of the meetings just because I want to learn more about the way the building works and the way the protocols are. But as far as what exact classes you're teaching, I think the expectation is within our department that you will teach ninth grade, but what that's going to be or look like, we don't, none of us know that yet. And that's not to say that's set in stone, and that won't change for anyone, but that's been the conversation we've had within the department.
Well, the thing that concerns me is you go there and you go from having 1 to 2 preps here and you got 6 there because
I have the
that
fewest
new
preps
teacher.
I've ever had since I've been a teacher.
And Mr. Jacoby has, when we implemented small learning communities, we brought that to him because that was one of our concerns. Mr. Jacoby has come through and said he would like to keep it for 2 preps for almost all the faculty. Now the only ones that don't have that are your multiple electives that are teaching various things throughout the day. But most core teachers, he's made that commitment to keep it at 2. Now, I'm not saying that's consistent for everything, but the ones that go above 2, we have spoken with individually, and we work with them when we do the master schedule. So we've tried to make a commitment to keeping it at 2.
And I have 1 prep this year. I've never not had 4, and I have 1.
Yeah, if you have 6 preps, then something's really.
Yeah, I've seen, sometimes I've seen in school, you walk in there and you're the new teacher and they give you a bunch of preps.
Okay, Penny, I know we ran a little over. I said 15:25. That's anything else? Okay, thank you all for your time. Please email us with any questions, comments. Thank you all. I'll turn it over.
Coach Jason, he has a special presentation for us this morning.
Well, he already introduced me. You might have saw one of our videos, and I was on the video at the beginning of the school year. We were the presenting sponsors for the Fayetteville Chamber Back to School Day there. And but the neat thing is today I get to recognize one of your teachers for getting one of our grants and scholarships. They got the grant and scholarship by going online and getting the application. It's a very easy application. In fact, Christian Cartwright, I think he was at the school a couple of years ago. He got a grant and scholarship. Hope Mr. Thomas might even consider getting one for math counts this year, so that'd be nice. But our next deadline is October 31st. And so if you're needing $500 for anything in your classroom to go back to school or anything like that, then please consider going online. All of my contact information is inside the teacher planner that was given out by the newspapers and education. It's right there in the front side, inside cover. And so you can see all the information about us, and my phone number's in there, my email. And so if you have any questions, I'd love to work through with your process on getting that application. It's very easy, 3 questions, all you got to answer. And it's just a rubric, just, we're teachers, so it's a rubric just like anything else. But I want to present the scholarship right now, a scholarship from the March 31st deadline to Jeff Bogart. Somebody take a picture. Congratulations. Let's shake the hands. Get the photo up.
All right, wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Presentation on our accept data and goals.
This has been a plan that we have maintained behind the scenes, so we thought we'd bring it up and brief it back to the committee at least one time every 3 to 4 years. Those of you who don't know that ACCEPT stands for Arkansas Consolidated School Improvement Plan. Woodland right now is in a needs improvement status, so our goal is to go from needs improvement to an achieving school. And I'm going to show some data points on why we're there and some things we plan to do that we've been talking about on how to achieve that. The first chart talks about our English scores as compared to the region and the state. I won't talk about them in general. We're on the left. We go from 2009 to 2014. As you can see, we are been in the 80% proficient and advanced for several years. The region is around in the mid 70%. The state is in the mid 60s. So if you're looking at how we compare to other schools, this is a very good chart that says whatever we're doing, competing with other schools, we're doing very, very well. The second chart talks about why we're in a needs improvement state. This particular column says that our goal was roughly 91.69% of our students to be proficient or advanced. We are at 90.78. That's why you'll see some goals when we talk about later as to why there are a handful of students we need to focus on to help us go past that. The targeted group is a composite of the other subsets to the right, but the big picture and the subsets all have to meet their goals. We can't just look at the small students and say we're off by a little bit. We have to be concerned about our English language learners, our economically disadvantaged students, but in that particular chart, they pass. But anyway, all those comparisons have to meet their goals for us to more or less get out our needs improvement category. From English to math, our 8th grade benchmark test as compared to the region and the state, they look very similar to the English numbers that we looked at. The algebra and the course exam, we are in the 90% of our students getting advanced or proficient on that, compared to 80% for the region and 75% for the state in terms of Fuquay. The next chart is one that, as Woodland would always like to put up, is that we have plateaued in our geometry in the course exam. And ever since I've been keeping data on this, 100% of those students have chosen or passed the test, compared to 81% of the region and 74% of the state. On the math side, again, why are we in the needs improvement? Just as far as numbers, our target is 92.44, we at 92.12. And again, looking across, some groups are very close, some groups are even ahead. But the goal is for all of those bars to be equal to or greater than what the target was. Now that we're looking at all this, next year, the goal posts move, I don't know where, out in left field or somewhere. We're going from benchmark assessments to PARCC assessments. So will we have a 93% target at that point, or will we start over again? We will probably have brand new targets. Priorities in our ACCEPT plan. This year, we are going to look at our, focus our goals on our MAPS data, because we're going from an end-of-course benchmark to a park assessment. We have nothing to compare it to. So these goals that are here are roughly 2% above where we are now. That 60-some% of our students met the MAPS growth projections. I'm going to put in our plan that 62% of our students will do that. 76% of our students will meet the math side, because this year we had about 74% of them doing that. So that's roughly a 2% growth in that particular arena. The wellness plan is a required part of the ACCEPT plan. Ever since the body mass index tests that we had several years ago, we went from a mandatory to a volunteer. The data sort of is not there, but we still have to think about we want our students to be as healthy as they may be. Clearly, our English language learners need to improve in their English and math skills. And number 5, we do a very good job of that, but it's still part of our plan, is that if you're looking across the state, the parents have to be part of this puzzle. Our parents are, but every ACCEPT plan has a parent involvement section in it, so ours is very robust anyway. Actions we're going to take. We've instituted some common planning periods across the schools so that we can focus on those students who are right on the borderline and find enriching things for them and help them understand and be more proficient in what they're doing. Our test focus this year is on student enrichment. The math teachers have advisory periods open so that we can have students who have math concerns to come to us during that 20-minute period and focus on things on that part. On the literacy side, we have Achieve 3000 for our students who are just below the proficiency level to practice on their English skills to solve that problem. We're also looking at students who understand where they need to be for these park assessments. This is not an activity for the teachers, but the students need to understand where they want to be in that part. Literacy and math teachers are also being briefed on, and we've been everybody's talking, these students that are right at the bubble or at the borderline, to make sure that they are above, because you looked at our charts, we have a handful of students that if we improve their skills, we will be better as a whole school. This one has been in our plans for several years, is that we all teach literacy and math. It's not just for those two, the English and math teachers that do that. This year we have an 8th grade and 9th grade math lab for students who need additional help. The math teachers, because we know that park assessments are going to require higher level thinking skills, we are teaching more problem solving skills than just process. And the last one is where technology can be used, we should try to use it to improve our skills. I'm going to email this to everyone. We have a requirement to have faculty members identified for our 4 major committees: literacy, math, parent improvement, wellness, and ACCEPT leadership. I will email that to you so you don't have to worry about where you are on that one, but that's just a list of where we have you've been assigned. The odds are we ever have to, in the past 5 years, we've never had to call on anyone to perform any task, but if we do, this is what it would happen, and hopefully this is the list that will be part of our plan that we can have. Now, so kind of end with this quote: tell me I forget, teach me I remember, involve me I learn. So if our students can get hands-on, they will walk away learning things, and I think this is attributed, the irony of it, it's been around for many years, but it's a good thought. Any questions?
All right, thank you. And I'll let you know that Nat, he did this presentation to the central office the other day and did a wonderful job. I appreciate his time and effort. And I I was so excited to get the ninth grade transition going that I forgot about cheers. So
That's okay.
sorry, Cynthia. You're up.
Mr. Young has a couple of door prizes. It's been a while since we've had opportunity for some door prizes, and so just let Miss Karen can just draw them for you.
You want to write them?
Yeah, no, I'll run them on mine first. Terry. We had to run far for that. Annie.
Oh, what a surprise. I never knew
I promise I like that side of
It's looking good for us.
Chris Cartwright. Elizabeth, she's on duty. I'm making this real easy. One more. Councilman. And one more.
And we also have a $10 AQ gift card.
Ooh.
I'll let you know. AQ gift card.
Bo Patrick's.
Yay.
All right. Thank you guys for coming this morning. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you.